In today's video, I thought I would talk about 3 things that you might want to consider, or at least give a little bit of thought to before you jump in and just start a band. Let's get started. So number 1, and this one maybe isn't number 1 out of the 3, but you want to consider your overall goals. What is it you're trying to achieve with your band? Are you wanting to be weekend warriors? Are you looking to take over the world? Are you wanting to put out original music and releases? Do you want to go play covers? These are things you want to maybe define beforehand, because you can't exactly be putting up an ad asking for, certain requirements if you yourself aren't sure of those requirements. So give it a little bit of thought. If you're trying to play covers on the weekends, you're probably a little bit more flexible in regards to age levels within the band, and in regards to influence. And that leads us to point number 2, which is influences and genre. Are you trying to play a specific type of music? Are you looking to play a certain style or genre? Do you have a certain idea for how many people you want within your group and what you're trying to achieve, which goes back to the goals? Or are you just looking for people to jam with? In which case, don't get me wrong, it's a great way to start. You potentially can find band members that way. I have in the past and probably will in the future continue to find people like that. But if you can maybe have an idea about the type of music you're looking to play from the start, it's easier to find like-minded individuals. Hypothetically, if you're trying to start a Metallica tribute band, and just to get a musician in the room, you get a folk Bob Dylan type figure who just wants to jam, that's not wrong on either side, but it's going to conflict if you start playing this, Enter Sandman type riff and they're there with their acoustic guitar strumming a couple chords. It's not going to gel. That's not to say it can't gel in the future, but you probably have a better chance of coming straight out that gate much stronger if you at least have the same influences and are trying to achieve the same genre goal-wise. To put that in a more storied type scene, the first band I ever tried to begin involved myself on drums and 3 friends from high school who all played guitar. I thought this was going to work how it worked on the movies. We all got together in my parents' garage and we were going to change people's lives. What I didn't realize at that point was I thought we were going to get into that garage and all be able to play. I didn't take into account that the one guitarist was into kind of indie rock and the other guitarist was into really, really heavy metal. I was into alternative rock at the time, maybe a bit of punk, and a lot of pop. And the other guitarist was taking classical guitar lessons. So we sat there for hours trying to figure out how to play together, and we couldn't. It was quite frustrating and extremely disheartening for a 15 or 16-year-old kid thinking, man, I've got a band. The exciting parts were great. You're thinking of band names already. You haven't even done a gig. You're thinking you're going to do all these gigs. And you do eventually. But that particular incarnation of what I thought was going to be a band didn't work out. So genre and influence are more important than you realize. And that brings us to point number 3. Think about commitment levels. Sure, at the start, we might not need everybody to have the same commitments, but if you, as an individual who is starting this band, have aspirations of eventually playing Shea Stadium and being on the road 300 days a year, and you are straight away mixing with people who, only want to play once a week because it interferes with private lives and work, then that might straight away be a conflict of interest. Now, it is difficult to find people who are all willing to commit with that same determination and fire from the start as maybe you are, but they're out there, and I've spoken before or will be speaking in the future about the importance of finding your tribe, and you will find your tribe if you're patient. But to go back to the start video, you just have to start. But if you can at least decide on some of these things before you commit to certain band members, it will allow you to move forward with a plan, knowing what commitment levels people are willing to commit to. So those are just 3 things of many that you might want to think about before starting a band. Obviously, the most important thing at this point is just getting in a room with other musicians. But depending on your goals and aspirations, these things can save you a lot of time in the future. If you're getting anything from these, I know I said it earlier, but please do hit that subscribe button. Additionally, if you have any additional thoughts or advice on things that might save people time when starting bands, please do drop us a comment in the comment section. My name is Travis Mark. I will see you on the next one.